What is up? What's good? What's going on? How you doing? How you been? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good myself. Doing all right. Life is full of ups and downs. So what's going on? I've been up since 5 a.m. getting shit done. Where to start? So the last video I uploaded was pretty much exact a week ago. It was almost exactly a week ago was the last video I uploaded. Today is Wednesday, April 14th. It is 2:42 p.m. local time, Central Time here in Oklahoma City. And the last video I uploaded was when I got out of orientation. Orientation was Monday and Tuesday of last week. Um, on my way back home from orientation, when orientation let out at 5 p.m. Tuesday, I took off to the house from Fort Worth, Texas to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And on my way home, I stopped by the drop yard where I parked my truck. I uninstalled the old ELD. I installed the new ELD. And then I came home. And I didn't get home until like 1 a.m. Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, however you want to look at it. And then I made that video. So what has happened since then? I didn't do much of anything that I can recall until today. So it was basically a week of me sitting on my ass being lazy. I think I did a little bit of laundry. I cleaned up around the house a little bit. I did a couple of minor repairs. Um, just tiny little things. But for the most part, I sat on my ass and played video games and watched, uh, you know, Hulu. Uh, I've been rewatching Lost, the TV series. I think I've rewatched that thing. I've watched the entire Lost series like 5 or 6 times. I don't know what number I'm on right now, but I'm rewatching it again because I can't find anything else worth a damn to watch. So I'm just rewatching that again. Um, but yeah, I've just been sitting around the house doing a whole lot of nothing until today. So, Landstar in their contract requires that you have hood mirrors. Well, specifically, a passenger side hood mirror. But if I'm going to have the passenger side installed, why not just have both of them installed? So, I ordered hood mirrors and I couldn't get an appointment with my mechanic to get them installed until today, Wednesday, April 14th. They didn't have any availability until today. So I drove down there. I got up at 5 a.m. today, drove down there, and I was there when they opened up. I got there an hour before they opened. I got there at 7 a.m. So I started removing the stickers on my truck, the USA Truck stickers, and they finally got me into a bay at about 8:30. They were cool and let me go ahead and plug my heat gun in the shop and continue removing stickers while they installed the hood mirrors. And then once they finished installing the hood mirrors, I pulled my truck back out to the parking lot and cleaned off all the areas where the stickers were at and put the new stickers on, the Landstar stickers, installed the license plate, and I can't remember anything else I did. I forgot to install the toll transponder. It's there, it's in the truck. All I need to do is clean off the little spot where the old transponder was at and install the new transponder there. I need to stick it to the window. Um, I forgot to do that. It should take me about 5 minutes to do, so it's not a huge deal. The toll transponder is there in the truck, so hopefully I remember to do that whenever I leave the house, and I don't, roll through the toll station thing without it on. So I think I'm good to go as far as hauling a load for Landstar now. So I emailed trailer utilization and got put on the wait list for a trailer. And I'm watching the SOS loads. I'll explain what SOS loads are in a minute, and I'll show you the SOS loads that are out there. Another thing that I did was I emailed my driver advocate, Kathy, I emailed her yesterday asking about my settlements because I went through orientation last week and I've already received 2 settlements. Basically, them billing me for stuff. I haven't received any bills yet for like the Warlock securement kit or my tags registration, my plates, or I can't remember what all other crap they're going to charge me for. Permits, like all kinds of stuff they're going to charge me for. So far, all they've been billing me for is insurance, some kind of escrow account, and some type of LCN fee. And I'll tell you what those are because I emailed Kathy asking what all this crap was that I was getting billed for. And I ended up talking with her and talking with somebody in the risk management department, trying to figure out what all these insurance things were I was paying for. Because I'm paying a lot more for insurance with Landstar than I was at USA Truck. So I'm going to keep this on my fat head so that I can pull up my email without showing personal information, and I can look at my email and tell you, because I wrote down all the numbers in the email. Let me get it pulled up. There it is. Okay, so let's go over what was in my settlements. I'm $600 in the hole on my settlements already after 2 settlements. $600 in the hole. And that's not, like I said, there's a whole bunch of other crap they're going to charge me for that's not included in that. I'm thousands of dollars in debt to Landstar right now. I don't know how many thousand. They don't even tell you. Like, it's crazy. So let's go through what I owe on my settlements. So of my 2 settlements, each one is taking out $66.67 toward a $1,000 escrow. It states this in the settlement. It says there's a $1,000 escrow and $66.67 was deducted out of this settlement towards it. What in the hell is this escrow? I've never heard of this escrow. I didn't opt into any escrows. I don't need an escrow. Kathy told me that it is money that's set aside for whenever Landstar and I part ways. It's basically like a safety deposit. Like whenever you get an apartment or something. So whatever I owe Landstar, whenever we part ways, they're going to take the money out of the escrow and I'll get whatever's left over. So it's basically a safety deposit. I'm sure it's covered somewhere in the 35-page contract. I don't have that damn thing memorized. I didn't read the whole thing. So the escrow is probably covered in the contract somewhere. What else was taken out? There was something that I thought was some kind of license fee. It was listed as, if I remember correctly, LCN fee on the settlement. And I thought it stood for license. And she said, no, it's not a license fee. It's, I can't remember what exactly, if it is LCN. I think it was LCN. I can't remember what exactly it stands for. I want to say she said it was Landstar Communication Network or something like that. Basically what the $3.69 per week fee is on the load board, you have the option to set up load alerts, and you choose how you want to be notified for those load alerts. You can either choose email, and you'll get an email anytime something pops up matching your criteria, or if you choose the phone option, you would suspect that it would send you a text message, right? Apparently that's not how it works. They actually call, and there's some kind of text to voice program that will read off the details of the load to you over the phone. I guess that makes sense. You know, you're driving down the road, you can't be reading text messages. But that service costs $3.69 per week. It's not something that I opted into. You're automatically opted into it, but you can opt out of it. She told me that I can opt out of that if I want to. At this point in time, I don't know if I'm going to use it, so I'm not going to opt out of it yet. We'll see. I think everything else in the settlement was insurance related, and we'll go through the insurance stuff. and I'll compare it to what I was charged insurance-wise at USA Truck. So the first one is called unladen liability. They told me that that's basically just bobtail insurance. So at USA Truck, they just referred to it as bobtail insurance on my settlements. My bobtail insurance at USA Truck was $5.77 per week. At Landstar, it is $33.98 per week. That is a huge difference. It is way more expensive at Landstar. What is the next thing? Physical damage insurance. At USA Truck, my physical damage insurance for $60,000 of coverage was $45 a week. At Landstar, my physical damage insurance for $53,000, $7,000 less, is $61.16 per week. $16.16 per week more expensive. Now they bill it monthly at $265 per month. So to get that weekly price, I took $265, multiplied it by 12, and then divided by 52. And then we come up with $61.16 per week. So all of that together, my weekly insurance cost, there was one other optional insurance thing that I had at USA Truck, and it was a deductible reduction. So the standard deductible at USA Truck is a $2,000 deductible. You could opt into what they called a deductible buyback, and it was $7.16 per week for me. I'm not sure if it's a flat rate over there or if it's variable based on like what your coverage is, or it's probably a percentage of your coverage or something. I have no idea. But anyway, it reduces your deductible from $2,000 to $500, and I paid $7.16 per week for that. So including that, my total cost for insurance. Oh, there's one other insurance thing that I didn't go over. Workman's comp. So on Landstar settlement, there's something called CPP. I don't recall what they said that stands for. But basically it's workman's comp insurance. You're required to have workman's comp insurance. At USA Truck, workman's comp insurance was $24.70 per week. At Landstar, it's $35.38 per week. About $11 a week more expensive. So now let's flip back over to my totals about what I was paying at USA Truck versus Landstar for insurance. Now this is for liability, physical damage, and workman's comp, plus my optional deductible reduction thing at USA Truck. So at USA Truck, my total insurance per week was $82.63. At Landstar, it is $130.52 per week. So that's $47.89 more per week at Landstar, which comes out to about $2,500 a year. $2,490.28 per year more in insurance that I'm spending at Landstar. It adds up, you know. It's quite a bit more expensive for insurance over here at Landstar. And the only optional insurance that I have, I was like, did I opt into something that like I was unaware of? Like, is everything on here standard basic? And they said all the insurance that I have is standard basic except my physical damage insurance. They said that I'm not required to have any physical damage insurance. I had physical damage insurance at USA Truck. I'm going to keep physical damage insurance at Landstar. The bobtail insurance, the liability insurance for bobtail, is basically like liability insurance on your car. Now, this is the way that the risk management person explained it to me. She said that the bobtail insurance is pretty much just like having basic liability on your car. It doesn't cover you. It doesn't cover your car. It covers whoever you hit and their property. So it's like having the state minimum liability on your car. It just covers other people that you come into contact with. The physical damage insurance is what covers my truck in the event of an accident. So if I get into an accident and all I have is liability coverage, I'm out of pocket for all the repairs on my truck. But with the physical damage insurance, that will cover my truck in the event of an accident. So I'm not gonna like not have physical damage insurance. Now, I don't have a lien against my truck. My truck's paid off, so it's like having a car that's paid off. I could have liability only insurance if I wanted. I have that option available, but I don't want to do that. If you have a lien against your vehicle, if you're paying on it, if you're leasing the truck, renting it or whatever, you're not going to have an option. You're going to have to, if you have a lien against the truck, or if you're renting it or something, you are going to have to get physical damage coverage. I've never heard of a lien or a rental agreement that did not include a requirement for full coverage, basically, is in car terms, full coverage insurance. So yeah, that's what's going on with my settlements. I've already received 2 of them, and I'm $600 in the hole. So need to get out there and make some money. Let's look at the load board. And this is the SOS board. These are all the SOS loads. I don't have any filters set except SOS. I'm only looking for SOS loads. SOS loads are loads that, for whatever reason, whoever got this load, they're unable to deliver it. They had a breakdown, they had a family emergency, they had a medical emergency, they had, they were put out of service by Landstar or by DOT. Maybe it is a driver, an operator that's working for an owner that's leased to Landstar, and they got terminated for some reason, or they quit. Maybe, this is a company driver that quit that was working for somebody contracted to Landstar. Who knows? There are so many possible reasons why these loads can't be delivered. But these are all SOS loads. For some reason, they cannot be delivered by whoever was supposed to deliver them, so they're trying to find somebody else to deliver them. These Tuscaloosa to Bogota loads, pretty sure that these 2 loads right here are the exact same load. They listed it twice, once as a step deck and once as flatbed. They're paying a pretty decent rate per mile. This was listed a couple of hours ago at $5.99 per mile. It was paying $2,500. No, it was $2,800. I forget, but it was $5.99 a mile. I think it was $2,800. And within the last hour or so, 30 minutes to an hour, they relisted both of these loads and bumped the price up to $6.99 per mile at $3,500. This Council Bluffs, Iowa to Hazlet, New Jersey. This cheap crap. This load just popped up here. This is new. These San Antonio to Lakeland, Florida loads right here. These were on the load board yesterday, and they were $2.17 per mile. I think these were the ones that were listed at $2,500 each to go almost 1,200 miles, 1,152 miles. Like some really, really cheap crap for going into Florida. But this is also the exact same load listed twice, 2 different ways. Once as a van load and once as a power-only load. And then we have this Roanoke, Virginia to Bessemer, Alabama. Nothing has really changed with this load. It's been sitting here at this price since I've been looking at the board today. This Knoxville, Tennessee to Sevierville, Tennessee. It's only going 25 miles. And they have... sorry, my throat's drying out. They have notes in the comments section that say that you can't keep the trailer. You either have to do a power only where you deliver the load and then bobtail out, or you have to give this person an empty trailer. These people are not desperate to get this load delivered. They're not willing to give up their trailer to get this load delivered. But they originally listed this load at $1,000, or not $1,000, but $800, paying $32 a mile. because it's only 25 miles. And then they relisted it an hour before the delivery appointment at the current price of $1,000 or $40 per mile. This thing has to deliver by 4 p.m. and that was 2 minutes ago. Because it's 3:02 p.m. Central Time. This load is on Eastern Time, so it's 4:02 p.m. Eastern Time now. So this thing is now late for the delivery, which means that the load is probably not going to pay the full rate anymore because it didn't deliver on time. So there's probably going to be a penalty for the late delivery. So let's refresh and see what's changed. I'm not seeing any changes. Looks like all the rate per miles are the same and all the loads are the same. Most of these loads are paying really cheap. The only one that's really paying like an emergency load premium is this flatbed load up here. This thing's paying $7 a mile to try to get somebody to finish delivering this from Tuscaloosa, Alabama to Bogota, Texas. Let me pause this and look at the notes. All right, the only additional information that they have in the notes is the word transload. No spaces, transload. I don't know what that means. Does that mean that they're going to transfer the load to your equipment? Like they're sitting there at a place that has a forklift or something and they're going to move the load off of this person's flatbed trailer onto yours? I don't know. I don't know what transload means. But it sounds to me like they're going to want to transfer the load from, maybe this thing was in an accident and they took the load and they moved it over to a warehouse or something and you're going to go pick it up there. It sounds like you're going to get loaded. It sounds like they're transferring the load onto your equipment. So you may need this. You may not be able to come over there power only and steal a flatbed on this load. I don't know. But we're going to keep looking at SOS loads. I did email, I think I mentioned earlier that I emailed Trailer Utilization, and they responded back within a couple of minutes with some macro email with a reference number and letting me know that I am on the wait list for an empty. So I don't expect that I'm going to, let me flip this back. Let me refresh one more time. Nothing changed. And we'll flip back over to my fat head. I don't expect to get a call back from Trailer Utilization until Monday at the earliest. So I'm not in a huge rush to get everything in order to hit the road. I am watching the SOS loads. If there's an amazing SOS load that pops up within a decent distance of me, then I might run out there and get it. The reason I am monitoring the SOS loads is because whenever they find you an empty, I've heard horror stories about how fucking far away from these empties can be. So if I can find an SOS load really close to me that is not like some $1.50 a mile bullshit going to Florida, then I might, and when I say $1.50 a mile, I'm talking about like this $2.83 a mile right here, this load going to Florida that's on the SOS board that I was showing you a minute ago. You only get 65% of that. 65% of $2.83 a mile is like $1.80 a mile. That thing was originally listed at $2.17 a mile to go to Florida. That's $1.41 a mile. $2.17 a mile. If you're hauling $2 a mile freight, how much are you making at 65%? $2 a mile, 65%. $1.30 per mile. That's some bullshit. That's cheap. You can go out of business hauling stuff that cheap. So as long as it's not some crap like that, I'll hop all over it because who knows how far away an empty is going to be. They may call me up and be like, hey, we got an empty for you. It's sitting in New Jersey. We'll pay you 65 cents a mile to drive to New Jersey to pick up this empty. Because that's what they pay per mile, if I remember correctly. It's somewhere in the 60-cent range. It's like 65 or 68 cents per mile is what Landstar pays to go pick up an empty. And they said in orientation that if the empty is only like, 15, 20 miles away, they're not going to bother paying you anything. They didn't tell me the exact radius that how far away an empty has to be before they start paying you, but they're basically just covering your fuel cost. I mean, yeah, fuel at $2.50 a gallon, 6.5 miles per gallon, you're probably running about 38 cents per mile fuel cost. Wear and tear on your vehicle and everything else. Yeah, it's basically you're not making any profit. You're break even at best at 65, 68 cents a mile to go pick up that empty. I don't want to be driving break even 1,400 miles all the way to someplace like New Jersey to pick up a damn empty. But I've heard horror stories about them offering you empties that are really far away. I hope that's not the case for me. But that's the reason I'm watching the SOS board, is so that if I find something that's pretty damn close to me, I don't have to worry about them offering me a trailer that's 1,000 miles away. Because the problem is, if they offer me a trailer that, oh yeah, we got an empty for you in Miami, Florida. From Oklahoma City to Miami, Florida, you want me to deadhead there at 65 cents per mile? Or bobtail there at 65 cents per mile? Get my terms correct. And then have to deadhead out of Miami to probably Georgia or Alabama to get a decent paying load. No, I don't want to get into that situation, because if you refuse the trailer they offer, wherever in the hell it's at, they put you at the bottom of the list, and you might have to wait another week to get offered another trailer. So that's some bullshit. That's the reason I'm watching the SOS board. But I'm not really wanting to leave the house right now. I don't want to be in a rush to leave the house. So I'm perfectly content with staying home throughout the remainder of this week through the weekend, and then leave the house Monday, Tuesday of next week, somewhere in that area. That's where I'm at right now. I'm perfectly happy with that. I have plenty of money in the bank. I don't want to say how much money I have, but I have plenty of money in the bank. I always want more. But I could easily sit at home for 3 or 4 months before I start hurting on money. So sitting at home for a week waiting on an empty is nothing. So I'm not in a big rush. But if they call me up tomorrow and say, hey, we got an empty in Tulsa, I'm going to be like busting my ass to get the truck situated and ready to go so I can go over to Tulsa and pick up that empty. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to keep watching the SOS board and keep waiting on a call from Trailer Utilization. I just refreshed, and I'm not noticing anything different with the loads. No price changes and no loads, no new loads, and none of the old loads are gone. But yeah, we're really close to hauling our first load with Landstar. And we're still probably a week away. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's probably going to be a ways away, because once I go pick up the empty, I'm not going to be like booking a load. They warned us about this in orientation. They said, oh, if Trailer Utilization calls you up and tells you they have an empty for you, you shouldn't, like, at that point immediately go and start booking a load. because you have no idea what the condition of that trailer is. So you might get there and it's got 4 flats, and it's got a hole in the side of the trailer or some crap, and you have to get it towed to a shop, and it has to go to a specialty shop, and it might be in the shop for a week. So don't be booking loads when you don't know what condition the trailer's in. They said also you might get there and that trailer might not be there. Because one of the things is, one of the ways that trailers become available is people sit at home for too long. So there could be somebody sitting at home for too long. They can't reach them on the phone. And so that trailer just automatically gets popped into the system as an available trailer. They call you up and they tell you, hey, go down here and pick up this trailer. You get down there and that trailer isn't there. That person ended their home time and decided to go ahead and keep on driving. So they left 2 hours ago and went and picked up a load. And now you're, 200 miles away from your house and they don't have any trailers available for you. You have to drive back home. Shit like that happens. There was somebody that I was watching on YouTube that was talking about that exact situation. Their very first empty that they were offered was a recovered trailer from a driver that they could not reach. This person lived out in the sticks, out in the middle of nowhere, and they had the trailer supposedly parked at their house. That's where they thought the trailer was at, but they couldn't reach the guy, so they didn't know for sure what was going on with the trailer. So they just sent this guy over to pick it up as an available trailer. And he was like, you know what? I don't really want to deal with that drama. It's like repossessing a damn trailer, and they can't reach the guy to work something out and be like, hey, are you going to take a load anytime soon? No? Okay, we're going to send somebody to pick up that trailer. They didn't have that conversation. So you're just going to be rolling up onto this person's property. It's probably private property because he said this guy lived out in the middle of nowhere. So this trailer was most likely parked on this person's private property. So you're going to be driving your truck out and trespassing on somebody's private property and basically repossessing a trailer. I don't want to deal with that shit. I don't want to be dealing with the hillbilly with a shotgun. If they can't reach this guy on the phone and he just sees you out there hooking to his trailer, he might just start shooting at your ass. I don't want to deal with that drama. And this guy said that he didn't want to deal with that drama. So he told them, now, he tried to make up an excuse. If I remember correctly in his YouTube video, he said he didn't tell them that he didn't want to deal with that drama. He told them that he actually had something come up and he wasn't available to leave right now. So if you could just go ahead and put me back at the bottom of the list and go ahead and give that trailer to somebody else. He told him something like that. And he said that the second trailer that they got him, the second empty, was an empty that was at a customer site, and it was really easy in and out, and it was awesome. But I'm afraid of getting, a call from trailer utilization and they're basically going to want me to go repo a trailer from somebody's house or something like that. I don't want to deal with that shit. They shouldn't even be doing that. I don't have any legal right to trespass onto somebody's fucking private property. What if it's at a secure drop yard? If I have a Landstar trailer and I'm paying to park that at a secure drop yard, they won't release that trailer to anybody but me. If somebody rolls up there and tries taking that trailer, they'll call the police on them if they, if they drive past the gate out of there with that trailer. They'll call the damn cops on them. I don't want to be dealing with repossessing trailers. I don't think that trailer utilization should be using people that are looking for trailers as repo guys. That's some drama that I didn't sign up for. I'm not the repo guy. And in all honesty, I don't think that they should be putting us into that situation where they're making us repo guys. If they can't reach somebody and there's a trailer on somebody's private property or at a secure drop yard or something like that, they should be paying a repo company to go out there and recover that trailer. They should be paying somebody specifically to recover equipment. Somebody that's properly trained for that, somebody that's properly paid for that, not getting some break even 65 cent a mile bullshit to go get shot at. I hope that I don't have to deal with that kind of drama. Like when I watched that video and he was telling me like the like trailer utilization, yeah, let's go pick up this trailer. I was like, there's no fucking way that I would go drive out in the middle of nowhere to somebody's property and, you know, try to steal a trailer back from Landstar. I mean, no way I would do that. I can't believe that trailer utilization actually like offered that to him. Like that's pretty fucked up in my opinion. So anyway, let's refresh this again. I think that's about all I got to say in this video. Yeah, I just need to wrap up a few things. In all honesty, if they called me and said there was a trailer available right now at this very instant that was only 10 miles away or something, like if it was only 10 miles away, shit, I wouldn't even need to pack the truck. I would just drive down, drive it 10 miles, pick up the trailer, and then drive it back over and park it in the secure drop yard, and then take my time getting ready to leave. But if they called me up and there was a trailer a couple 100 miles away, I could be ready to go within a few hours if I absolutely had to. A day would be plenty of time for me to get out of here. But as it stands right now, I'm just gonna like casually get ready, expecting that I'm probably not gonna get a trailer till Monday or Tuesday. But who knows? At any moment, a trailer could pop up on the SOS board, or trailer utilization could call me up. But if they give me some BS trailer that's like really far away, or there's some drama situation with it, I'll be like, nah, I don't want to deal with that. I'll keep watching the SOS board, put me back at the bottom of the list, you know, whatever. I'm not desperate for a trailer at this moment. I am looking forward to getting out here and running some loads and making some money. I mean, they've got a lot of it out here, and I'm not sure how long, none of us know how long the freight market is going to be this good. I feel really bad for people that don't realize how good the freight market is, and they think this is normal, and they're like buying houses, they're buying trucks, they are setting their expenses up based on the current market. And then if the market goes back to normal, or man, if it becomes a bad market, then there's going to be a lot of people go out of business. This is what happens. This is the cycle in trucking. Every time the market gets really good, tons of people come into the trucking industry, and it gets inflated, and that drives prices down because it's a supply demand. It's a number of loads, number of drivers. As more drivers come into the industry, the price of the loads go down. And then when the economy stabilizes or craps out, whatever it does, because all-time freight market highs don't just last forever, and that's what we're in right now. Is like we're running all-time highs all the time. Whenever this corrects, whenever it goes back to normal or goes bad or whatever, not only are we going to have more drivers than normal, but we're also going to have reduced freight on top of that. So what almost always happens at the end of a really good freight market is like a really bad freight market, because we have this huge surplus of drivers and we have reduced freight. Even if it just goes back to normal freight volumes, we're still going to have a surplus of drivers. And it usually takes 3 to 6 months, sometimes a year, for a lot of those drivers to exit the market. A lot of those companies to go out of business, stuff like that. That's, again, I'm not an expert, but that's been, what I've noticed in researching trucking. So I don't know how long this amazing freight market is going to last, but when it does eventually crap out, it's going to get really bad. And it's probably going to take 3 to 6 months, maybe a year, for it to stabilize. And there's going to be a whole bunch of people go out of business because all of their costs are going to be structured around an amazing freight market. You know, they've got their really nice house and their really nice truck and their really nice everything because they're making lots of money right now. They're not really planning for normal times or bad times. There are a lot of people that live paycheck to paycheck. And I don't care how much money they make, that mentality doesn't change. I know people that make minimum wage that live paycheck to paycheck. I know people that make $100,000 a year that live paycheck to paycheck. They don't get smarter by making more money. There's stupid people like all through the spectrum. All right, let's refresh this. Oh, something happened. Something disappeared. Which load disappeared? The two Florida loads are still there. The two flatbed loads are still there. That brand new Council Bluffs, Iowa is still there. And that short little Knoxville, Tennessee is still there. You know which one it is? It was that one that was listed at a normal rate that was like $3.38 a mile. That's the one that disappeared. Where the hell was that one that was listed for $3.38 a mile? Where was it picking up and where was it going? That one was listed as basically like a normal paying load. That one is gone. And I can't remember where that thing picked up or where it was delivering. It was going from Roanoke, Virginia to somewhere in Alabama, wasn't it? Roanoke, Virginia to Bessemer, Alabama or something like that. And it's paying like $3.38 a mile. That's the one that disappeared. I can't remember where it was picking up from and where it was going to, but I'm pretty sure it was paying like $3.38 a mile. And I was like, that's a fairly normal, like average rate per mile. Oh, some other ones disappeared. I just refreshed again. The Florida loads disappeared. There's no way somebody picked up those damn Florida loads. They're probably pulling them and relisting them at a different rate. So let's give it a minute and see if they pop back up here. Still not seeing them. They might have gotten covered. There might be somebody. Well, Fort Worth is the hot spot for orientation at Landstar. They told me when I was going through orientation that half of all people that go through orientation at Landstar go through Fort Worth orientation. There were 16 or 17 people in my orientation class last week in Fort Worth. And from what I hear from other people on YouTube is that 4 to 5 people per class is normal at the other locations. Those Florida ones have not been relisted. San Antonio to Lakeland, Florida it was Lakeland, right? Central Florida, 1,200 miles. For $2.78 a mile. $1.80 a mile is what you're actually making on that load to go to Florida. Central Florida. Like even northern Florida. If it was like, what is it Pensacola? Is Pensacola up in the Panhandle by Tallahassee? We'll just go with Tallahassee because I'm not 100% sure that Pensacola is up there near Tallahassee. But Tallahassee, Florida. I don't even think I'd haul a load to Tallahassee at $2.78 a mile. Hell, I wouldn't haul a load at $2.78 a mile. That's just too damn cheap. I would have to be desperate. And I'm certainly not going to Florida at that price. Like there would have to be an amazing load at wherever in the hell I was going at $1.80 a mile, $2.78 a mile. For me to go somewhere for $1.80 a mile, wherever I'm going, had better have like an amazing load. Florida loads have still not been reposted. Let me pause this for a minute. We'll wait about 5 or 10 minutes and see if those Florida loads get reposted and see what price they get posted for. I'm still not going down there. Even if they post those damn things for $5 a mile, I'm not going to deadhead 500 miles down to San Antonio, and I'm not even sure how far it is. I'm going to have to look. Let me look. Oklahoma City, San Antonio. All right, let me make a final guess before I hit enter here. It's like 240 miles from Oklahoma City to Dallas, and Dallas to San Antonio is probably around 100 miles. We'll go with 360 miles. 360 miles from Oklahoma City to San Antonio. 360. Let's see what it says. I was way off. San Antonio is way... I think I was thinking of Austin, Texas. San Antonio is further south than Houston is. Holy crap. 467 miles from Oklahoma City to San Antonio. I was 100 miles off. Yeah, I'm not driving all the way down there to haul some cheap shit to Florida. Even if it was paying $5 a mile, I'm not deadheading 500 miles to pick that damn load up. Not right now. A week from now, maybe. Like if I'm like right now, I'm not in the mood to leave the house. If they offered me a trailer that was sitting in Oklahoma City right now, yeah, I'd go pick the trailer up and then I'd park it back at the drop yard. But I'm not really ready to leave the house at this very instant. Uh-oh, okay, we got some new loads on here. Let me flip you back over to load board where you can see what I'm looking at here. All right, so they just posted this load. I'm pretty sure all three of these listings are one single load because they're all going from Hubbard, Ohio to Hillsboro, Oregon, and they listed it as reefer, power only, and van. Let me check the notes. Let me pause this while I look at the notes and see what they say. All right, I don't know why they listed it so many times. It's a really shitty load. And like these SOS loads are an absolute fucking joke on what they're paying for this bullshit. This is a cheap load, $2.82 a mile. $2.82 a mile. 38,500 pounds, $2.82 a mile to go cross country from Ohio to Oregon. 2,500 miles across country for $2.82 a mile. That's not a very good paying load. And according to the notes, the comments on the load, this is an owner-operator's trailer. This is not a Landstar trailer. This is a BCO's trailer. It's what Landstar calls owner-operators lease to them. So this is someone's personal trailer that's already loaded with some bullshit. It's hazmat and it's totes. So it's tanker endorsed hazmat cross country for $2.82 a mile, 38,500 pounds. Going to Oregon across lots of mountains. This is some bullshit. This is a cheap crap load is what this crap is. Where could this load have... Okay, Hillsboro, Oregon. Let me pause this and I'm going to search for all loads going to Hillsboro, Oregon to see if I can find where this load originated from. All right. Sorry, dry throat. I can't tell where it originated from. They don't have any identical loads listed here. The only one that even makes like kind of sense. So this is every load going to Hillsboro, Oregon on Landstar's load board. And there's no way that this load originated in Bloomingdale, Georgia, going to Hillsboro, Oregon. Because right now, the load is in Hubbard, Ohio. And let me show you the map here, where in the shit Hubbard, Ohio is at. There is no way someone picked up this load down here. This looks like it's near Savannah, Georgia. Yeah, so Bloomingdale, Georgia is basically Savannah, Georgia. And Hubbard, Ohio is Youngstown, Ohio, right on the border of Pennsylvania. There's no way somebody picked up this load in Georgia and drove that far in the wrong direction, and now they're going to drive, west to Oregon. That doesn't make any sense to me. It looks like they just matched the rate per mile of another long load going to Hillsboro, Oregon. This one's paying $282 a mile, and the SOS load out of Hubbard, Ohio is also paying $282 a mile. Well, they're both pretty crap rates. I wouldn't haul either one of these loads. They're both paying pretty trash. Denver, Colorado to Hillsboro, Oregon. 42,000 pounds of hazmat. And here's the other thing. This load up here that's paying $282 a mile that they tried to do a lane match on, even though it's not the same lane. This is 20,000 pounds of general goods. This bullshit down here, this load, this SOS load, is 40,000 pounds, twice as heavy, and it's tanker hazmat. And they matched, the price of the rate per mile on a 20,000 pound general good load. And down here, the load that's originating down in Georgia is not likely going to be dealing with any toll roads. Or a ton of traffic. Yeah, Savannah, you're probably going to drive through Atlanta. So Atlanta, you're going to drive through a major metropolitan there. You might even drive through Birmingham, Alabama. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the map. But you're not going to deal with anywhere near the traffic of, up there around Akron, Ohio, and Chicago, and all the rest of those places. You're going to take 80 straight across. But there's a whole bunch of toll roads up in that area, and there's really, really thick traffic. There's a lot of tunnels and shit that with the hazmat load, you're going to have to deal with a lot of routing around those major metropolitan areas. That is just like, it's really frustrating to look at these SOS loads and see what they're priced at. Because this is just a bunch of crap. Whoa, okay. Alright, it changed my search parameters to match what the other window was that I had open. Let me pause this and go switch it back to SOS. Alright, so those Florida loads ended up not getting put back up here, or at least they still haven't been put back up here yet. And nothing else has really changed on the board. The only thing that's really happened on the board is those Florida loads disappeared, and then that Virginia load disappeared. The Virginia to, I think, Bessemer, Alabama. I can't remember exactly. That one, like I said, was paying a decent rate per mile. I think it was $3.38 per mile. But those Florida loads, there might have been somebody really desperate out of the Fort Worth Orientation Center that saw that SOS load and just hauled it at that price. They don't know any better. They were like, oh, a trailer. Yeah, I'll go to Florida. It's not paying that great, but I'll do it. problem is that they're going to use a bunch of fuel. They're going to have a lot of expenses, and then they're probably going to have to deadhead out of Florida. So they're going to get out there and work for a week on their very first load, to this shitty load going to Florida. They're going to deadhead probably a couple 100 miles from Fort Worth down to San Antonio to pick this damn thing up, drive it over to Florida on the cheap, and then have to deadhead out of Central Florida to somewhere where they're going to be able to find a decent paying load. So basically, their whole first week is just screwed. It would have probably been better off to just sit around and wait for a different load. But that's the only thing I can think of that happened with that really terrible paying Florida load, is that there was somebody desperate out of orientation that probably just didn't know any better that picked it up, or it went past the delivery appointment, and the driver that was put it up as an SOS load was probably broke down or something, and they were like, you know what, I'm going to have this thing fixed tomorrow, so why don't we just go ahead and pull it off the board, and I'll go ahead and finish hauling it, and I'll just deliver it late. Who knows what happened with it. I'm really curious. I would love to hear what's happening with these loads. I would love to have some type of closure. Like, it's like watching a movie and you don't get to see the damn ending. Come on, man. I want to see the ending. I want to know what's happening with this stuff. But I think that's about it for this video. We're hitting the hour mark, and I'm just... I get really excited watching the load board. I could sit here and just like make random comments and refresh this load board for the next 3 or 4 hours. That's probably what I'll end up doing. Is, you know, I won't do it on video, but I'll probably just be sitting here refreshing this load board and maybe watching some YouTube videos or something on my other monitor. But I find this to be, you know, fun to sit here and look at these loads and then, you know, speculate, theory craft or whatever on whether or not I would pick those loads up, you know, stuff like that, you know, what if scenarios. But I think that's about it for this video. Let me check my email real quick before I end it. No, nothing new on the emails, no phone calls, no nothing. It's 3:43 p.m. So I've still got an hour or so left in the day. I think most of the Landstar people run on East Coast time. I suspect that their trailer utilization department and most of their sites are East Coast. So they may be shutting down in 17 minutes at 4 p.m. my time. That might be 5 p.m. their time. But yeah, anyway, I think I'll end the video there. And I'm just going to be sitting around waiting for a trailer. That's where we're at right now, just sitting around waiting on a trailer. So thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.